The Pentagon is letting everyone believe the B-21 Raider is a short-range bomber. They're pointing to its smaller size as supposed proof of its limited reach. But this is a clever bit of strategic misdirection, designed to hide a secret that threatens to make China's multi-trillion-dollar defense plan obsolete. That secret is the B-21's true invisible range, a capability the Air Force won't officially admit to. And today, we're revealing how it works. When the B-21 Raider was first unveiled, the reaction was mostly confusion. It was visibly smaller than the iconic B-2 Spirit. The B-2 has a massive 172-foot wingspan, while the B-21 is estimated to come in around 140 feet. Its payload is also smaller, reportedly carrying about 28,000 pounds of munitions compared to the B-2's 40,000 plus pounds. In aviation for a century, size has equaled range. A bigger plane holds more fuel, so it flies farther. It's simple logic, and it's this very simplicity the Air Force seems to be using to its advantage. By presenting a physically smaller bomber, they've allowed a narrative to form. The B-21 must have a shorter range. Some public analyses have even floated combat radii that seem shockingly limited for a top-tier strategic bomber. This creates a powerful illusion for adversaries like China, who have spent decades and trillions building a sophisticated anti-access area denial A2AD network. Their strategy is built on the tyranny of distance, the idea that American planes can't reach critical targets without flying into a kill zone of missiles and radar. A shorter-range B-21 seems to validate their entire strategy. It would mean the bomber has to operate from closer, more vulnerable bases, or rely on a huge, obvious chain of aerial refueling tankers, which are sitting ducks in a modern conflict. Officially, the Air Force calls the B-21 a long-range, penetrating strike bomber with intercontinental reach. But those are just words. The visual evidence seems to tell a different story, and the Pentagon is perfectly happy with that contradiction. They're counting on their adversaries to believe their eyes, not the mission specs. This apparent weakness is a mask, hiding a revolutionary leap in capability that rewrites the rules of air combat. The B-21's smaller size isn't a limitation. It's the centerpiece of a brilliant strategic deception. Once you start looking closer, the whole short-range idea falls apart. First, there's the money. The US is pouring hundreds of billions into the B-21 program, planning for at least 100 aircraft. The entire program is explicitly aimed at the Indo-Pacific and countering China. So here's the question. Why spend a fortune on a bomber that can't reach its primary targets? China's A2AD bubble is designed to keep US forces far away, with major bases like Guam already in missile range. A bomber with a limited range would be a logistical nightmare, completely dependent on that vulnerable tanker fleet just to do its job. Building your main strike platform to be reliant on them would be strategic malpractice. Then there are the weapons it carries. The B-21 is built to carry next-gen standoff munitions, like the JASSM-ER with its 600-mile range, and more importantly, the AGM-181 long-range standoff, LRSO, nuclear cruise missile, which can travel over 1,500 miles. Why would you put a 1,500-mile weapon on a short-legged bomber? A long-range weapon on a long-range platform gives you incredible strategic depth. A long-range weapon on a short-range platform is a weird compromise. It suggests the bomber can't get close and has to lob its weapons from the sidelines. For a penetrating stealth bomber whose whole job is to get inside enemy defenses, that makes zero sense. Suddenly, the narrative of a smaller, shorter-range bomber looks like a paradox. The B-21 is being built for a theater that demands immense range, at a cost that demands a massive leap in capability, and armed with weapons that give it unprecedented reach. Yet, its size suggests a weakness that contradicts all of it. These aren't minor details. They are gaping holes in the story the world is being led to believe. The B-21's true global reach isn't from one breakthrough, but a convergence of 3 revolutionary advances. This is the truth behind the deception, the invisible range that complicates everything for China's defense planners. Secret number 1, the engine revolution. The first secret is a generational leap in engine technology. The B-2 Spirit from the 1980s uses 4 General Electric F-118 engines. Powerful, but they're based on older, less efficient designs. Think of them as the gas-guzzling V8s of the jet age. The B-21, however, uses just two advanced Pratt & Whitney engines, believed to be from the PW9000 family. These are a world apart. Derived from the most advanced commercial turbofans, they are engineered for extreme fuel efficiency. They use a high bypass ratio, meaning they move a huge amount of air around the engine's core, generating thrust far more efficiently. So, even though the B-21 is smaller, every gallon of fuel takes it much farther. The result is an unrefueled range expected to meet or even exceed the B-2's 6,000 nautical mile reach. These modern engines also have a cooler exhaust, which shrinks the B-21's infrared signature, making it even stealthier. So, while the world sees a smaller plane and assumes less range, the reality is a tech leap allowing it to fly farther, more efficiently, and more stealthily than its bigger predecessor. Secret number 2, the efficiency of form. The second secret is in its refined aerodynamic design. It shares the B-2's flying wing shape, but it's a far more advanced and efficient version. The B-2 had a jagged sawtooth trailing edge, which was great for stealth, but created drag. The B-21 has a much cleaner, simpler W shape. Its surfaces are smoother, and its whole profile is optimized for maximum efficiency. Think of the B-21 as part bomber, part high-altitude glider. Advances in computational fluid dynamics have let engineers create an airframe that slices through the air with minimal resistance. This glider-like efficiency means it needs less power to cruise, saving precious fuel on long-haul missions. This is amplified by its new generation stealth coatings, which are far more durable than the B-2's fragile materials, ensuring its low-drag profile is easier to maintain. When you combine this hyper-efficient airframe with its revolutionary engines, you get a plane built for endurance. Secret number 3, redefining range itself. The third and most game-changing secret is a total redefinition of what range even means. For older bombers, it was simple. How far can you fly, drop bombs, and fly back? For the B-21, range is about persistence and networking. First, the B-21 was designed from the ground up with optionally manned operations in mind. While it will have a crew for most missions, this opens the door for it to operate as a high-end drone. A human crew gets tired. An unmanned B-21 is limited only by its mechanics, potentially enabling missions far longer than any human pilot could endure. Second, the B-21 isn't just a bomber, it's a flying command and control node. It's meant to be the quarterback for a family of systems, including autonomous drones called Collaborative Combat Aircraft, CCAs. The B-21 could fly deep into enemy territory and direct swarms of these drones for surveillance, electronic attack, or strikes. Its range is no longer a line on a map, but a massive bubble of influence it projects deep inside enemy lines. This all points to the ultimate key to its invisible range, a new, unseen refueling network. America's biggest vulnerability has always been its large non-stealthy tankers. China's strategy counts on destroying them. The logical, though unconfirmed, solution is for the B-21 to be refueled not by a vulnerable KC-36, but by a new generation of stealthy unmanned drone tankers. Imagine a B-21 running low on fuel deep inside enemy airspace. Instead of turning back, it discreetly connects with an autonomous, low observable tanker. Its mission continues. Suddenly its range isn't 6,000 miles. It's limited only by logistics, not its fuel tanks. This is the real meaning of invisible range. The B-21 Raider's smaller size isn't a weakness. It's a weapon of misdirection. While many were led to believe it was a step back in range, the truth is far more revolutionary. Its invisible range comes from a trio of secrets: incredibly efficient engines, a hyper-efficient aerodynamic design, and a complete redefinition of range as persistent, networked presence. This capability fundamentally challenges China's defensive strategy. The A280 network is a fortress built on the known limits of American hardware. It's designed to stop a B-2 needing a visible tanker escort. It is not designed to counter a stealth bomber that can fly farther than expected, persist over the battlefield, and potentially refuel from invisible drones. The B-21 doesn't just punch a hole in this defensive bubble, it threatens to sidestep it entirely. It represents a weapon whose greatest strength isn't just its stealth, but the clever ambiguity that conceals its true power. The B-21 Raider is poised to secure American air dominance for the next generation, not just by being a better bomber, but by changing the rules of the game. The Air Force says it's optionally manned. Be honest, do you think there will be a pilot in the cockpit for World War III? Or is the B-21 already the world's most expensive drone? Let me know your verdict below.